Hey, what's up guys? My name is Avery and today I want to share with you my top 5 book recommendations for all creatives or creative entrepreneurs. As a child and into my early teens, I loved to read, but unfortunately that's not a habit that I carried for very long. Now for those of you who know me, it's no surprise for you to hear that I wasn't a very great student from like 6th grade on, so chances are even if I had to read a book for like a class or something, I probably just didn't. Probably just Googled some stuff and then did whatever assignment I had to based on the Cliff Notes version. Now, as an adult, I am rekindling, pun very much intended, my love for reading. And so I've been reading a lot these past couple of years, and I think that I've built up quite a repertoire of stuff that I can recommend to a lot of people, especially in the creative space. Now, the first on my list is a sort of a series. It's not really one book, so I guess I'm kind of cheating. So you're getting like more than 5 books out of this. But the first is the series. It's Steal Like an Artist, Show Your Work, and Keep Going by Austin Kleon. I'm just gonna go ahead and hop on here and say that I'm probably not gonna pronounce any of these names correctly. Sorry. Steal Like an Artist sort of champions this idea that nothing is original. Sometimes in certain parts of the book, it feels like it's sort of catered even towards non-creatives to try and help discover their artistic side. So if you're in a creative slump, this is definitely a great place to start. This book basically pushes you to not be as concerned with originality and just create. And don't be afraid to take inspiration from other people. Obviously don't rip somebody off, but really use other artwork to sort of inspire you to go and create your own stuff. Now following that, Show Your Work sort of busts some of the myths about making yourself known. Now as creative entrepreneurs, we tend to put a lot of energy into networking and getting clients and just building our brand and our business to where we kind of forget why we create in the first place. This book is all about getting findable and influencing others with the work you're creating. If Steal Like an Artist is your call to not be afraid to pull influence from others, then this book, Show Your Work, is sort of the push to be that influence to others and document your process and show other people what you're creating. Don't just, be a bedroom musician, for example. One quote that I really love from the book, Show Your Work, says, "The best way to get started on the path to sharing your work is to think about what you want to learn and then make a commitment to learning it in front of others." I can think of a lot of YouTubers that started this way when they just kind of wanted to learn something, and so they just documented it along the process. I personally have been really into backpacking lately, and I've watched a lot of backpacking YouTubers, and there's a ton who really started making backpacking YouTube videos on their first trip. They just took a camera, they wanted to go backpacking, so they just did and documented their experience, and now they have thousands and some of them hundreds of thousands of subscribers, all from just wanting to document the process of something that they thought was interesting. Now you can sort of see where this is going, because Keep Going sort of again builds on the foundations that you learn in these other 2 books, Steal Like an Artist and Show Your Work. Keep Going is just your charge to, you guessed it, keep going. This book kind of talks about like a creative loop. A lot of times we think that our creative journey is linear, and even like with business and just life in general, nothing is, unfortunately. And so it kind of shows you that loop, the cycle, similar to like a pretty popular habit books where they talk about the reward cycle and things like that. It sort of lends to those types of ideas. Now this book does sort of transcend creative work, and it outlines these rules that can really be applied to any field to basically just keep you focused, productive, and just kind of stay true to yourself and the reason that you do things in the first place. Number 2 on the list is Creativity Inc. by Ed Catmull. You may not know who that is, but I'm assuming that you've at least heard of Toy Story. Yeah. So he's the co-founder of Pixar animation studios. So kind of a big deal. I know it's a small indie company. You probably never heard of it, but this is a really great book. Creativity Inc. is regarded as one of the best books whenever it comes to running a business, honestly. And so it really has little to do with creativity in the sense of being a creative, and more about creativity as it comes to pivoting and sort of adjusting your business plans and working around your current situations. This book is sort of like a memoir, but also has a lot of nuggets that you can get along the way. This book takes leaders down the same path that led Catmull to partnering with George Lucas and working on some Star Wars movies, all the way to forming Pixar Animation Studios into the creative powerhouse that it is today, as long as being well known as just a really great business, really well run, and really great to work for. One of the quotes that I really love from this book is, give a good idea to a mediocre team and they will screw it up. But give a mediocre idea to a great team and they will either fix it or come up with something better. Now, I'm sure Catmull would have plenty to say about Steal Like an Artist, being that Creativity Inc. is sort of regarded in some spaces as a manual for pursuing originality. Obviously, Steal Like an Artist claims that originality is impossible, so check them both out and then you be the judge and let me know which one you think is right. But I think that they're both well worth the read. Number 3 on my list is The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. To be honest, I'm not sure whether to call this a business book or a psychology book. It definitely lends itself to really both spaces and it's super applicable. I know this isn't like an art book or a creative book to get your creative juices flowing or anything like that, but it's really, really good. And it kind of helps you really just understand like why you do certain things that you don't understand why you do them. Like there's a lot of things that why do I create art? Why do I write music? Why do I like to paint? You can really sort of search yourself and figure out like why you like to do those things. This book is more like, why do I procrastinate? Why do I bite my fingernails? Like, I don't know, but just like different habits that you have that are hard to shake. It kind of goes through what determines them and what keeps them sustainable in the sense that they kind of are ever going. Duhigg kind of takes you through various scientific studies that explain how and why habits form and how you can take advantage of that knowledge and change them. So it also shows how businesses can use these habits once they've kind of cracked the code to realize that they're somewhat predictable. And so they take these habitual cycles and help segment target audiences and create ads and just market more effectively. And so by grasping this idea of the habit cycle of the cue, routine, and reward, you can sort of really just transform both your business, your creative business, your non-creative business, and honestly just your personal life as well. A lot of creatives honestly don't want to put this much thought into their art. You just want to create and not think about science, and that's okay. But I think that a lot of times that we put so much intention behind like every brush stroke, behind every note, behind every like mouse click or keystroke or anything like that, that I think that it's worth your time sort of learning and investing into how you can reach your target audience just much more effectively and efficiently. So that's just better for business and lowering your stress and everything. Number 4 on the list is The Power of Moments by Chip Heath and Dan Heath. It shouldn't really surprise anybody to see Chip and Dan Heath on this list. Obviously, they've authored a lot of other popular books within this creative space like Made to Stick and Switch. The Power of Moments sort of walks readers through this formula for a positive, memorable experience. And the 4 elements that it talks about in this book are elevation, insight, pride, and connection. Have you ever had a teacher that taught a lesson that was just so profound that you just never forgot it? And then have you ever had a teacher that taught a lesson that really wasn't that profound, but for some reason you still remember it? That's basically what they're talking about here, where it's how we can sort of create these little moments to make people remember that experience and to regard it as an experience, whether it is or not, for a very, very long time. And so whether that experience is looking at a piece of art or going to a hotel, it's really about intentionally crafting those and turning anything, even if it is just viewing like a painting or a poster that you made to promote an event or something, turning it into an experience that will last a long time in their mind. Now, last but certainly not least on this list, in number 5 is probably one of my favorite books of all time. This is the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. so good. Like, so good. I'm sorry, Harry Potter fans. I don't even know if I want to say this online, but it might be better. So Mistborn is basically like this super intense, like more BA version of Avatar, Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter if they had some sort of like weird love child with a very troubled upbringing. So basically the whole premises of it is similar to Avatar. There are certain people that have like these powers, but only certain people have certain powers. But a Mistborn is the person who has all of these powers, like the Avatar. And so it kind of just walks you through this world, and there's like a lot of like action and fighting and politics and romance. I mean, it's so well-rounded and just so good that like even though it's a fiction book and it doesn't have anything for me to gain from it, I walk away feeling like so inspired to go and create and just make art and to do just all sorts of things. I really think that it's important to balance your nonfiction reading with something that's fictional, just so that way you can kind of continue to want to read. And I think that translates, you know, you're not going to just want to read these fiction books, you're going to want to balance that out with nonfiction as well. At least that's how it works for me. And I'm able to read a lot more nonfiction by also keeping a fiction book on my nightstand or my Kindle, like at all times. So definitely recommend the Mistborn series. If you haven't read a fiction book in a long time, give it a shot. It'll just make you want to read so much more, at least it did for me. So these are my top 5 books. I appreciate you hanging with me for all 5 of these. Of course, I have all links for these in the description. They are affiliate links, so if you click on and buy something, I will get a small kickback at no extra cost to you. Now for honorable mentions, Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. Very good. I laughed out loud. Save the Cat by Blake Snyder. It's a book about screenwriting, storytelling, stuff like that. Super duper good. Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. A book is about adapting to change within your workplace. Highly recommend that. Atomic Habits by James Clear. I mentioned that earlier in relation to Power of Habit. Similar concept, but just in a sort of different delivery, but also really good. And then Made to Stick by Chip and Dan Heath. Similar to Power of Moments, but it's all about having like an idea that sticks in your mind rather than creating like a whole moment around it. All very good books for creatives as well. So I'll have links to everything down below, as well as the full blog post linked in the description. So if you are going to pick up any of these, or if there are any other books that have greatly impacted your creative journey, I would love to hear about them. So let me know in the comments down below. As always, give me a like, subscribe, thumbs up. I don't really care, just do whatever you want to do. And then watch the next video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.